So now we've got something a little bit different for the listeners of the We Are West Ham podcast. You're used to us bringing you interviews with ex-players and well-connected journalists. Well, this week, it's neither. We've got a Britain's Got Talent 2014 finalist. He's a singer-songwriter. He's got a headline show at Scala next week. He's currently working on his debut album. His current single, Got the Love, is a must-listen. And most importantly, he's a huge West Ham fan. So I'm pleased to be able to welcome James Smith onto the We Are West Ham podcast. James, thanks for joining us, mate.
Oh, thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it. Appreciate you having me on. Excited.
No, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Let's kick off with some West Ham chat, mate, because you're big hammer from East London.
Yeah.
How did becoming a West Ham fan come about? Is it just, grew up in East London, you're kind of forced into it like the rest of us?
Yeah, well, actually, I grew up in Upton Park. So
oh, nice.
I grew up like next to the stadium, basically. My dad had a stall on Queen's Market. And I used to work there loads and sort of like we used to go to every game. But the block that we used to live on, we could sort of see into the stadium a little bit. In the old stadium, there was like the blocks on the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like all my mates and that used to live in there. So we'd go to the top of the block and sort of peek through the stadium. So yeah, that's sort of how I got into West Ham. But yeah, can't get out of it now. Definitely not.
Mate, yeah, you're in it for life now. You're in it for life like the rest of us. What's your earliest memory of being a fan? What's the first thing that you remember?
Do you know what? I think this is going to show. I mean, I used to go to the games a lot. My earliest memory definitely would have been like walking down Green Street and everyone going crazy and seeing all the, like the police on the horses and stuff.
Yeah,
that would be my earliest memory. But my the craziest memory was when I went to Millwall, the last Millwall game with my dad, and it was nuts. I remember we had to leave about 20 minutes early because we was like, oh, we're gonna get beat up.
Was that the Winston Reid one where he got the winner?
Yeah. So it was I've got many memories there, and like my auntie used to work in the stadium. She used to like pour pints and that. So like a lot of family history there, and it's I love it. I love I miss the old stadium so much. I miss it so much.
Mate, we all do. That was actually going to be one of my next questions. Was that did you get over there often? Given that you got a busy music career now, but do you still manage to get over there to the new ground? And what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, I've been like a handful of times. Try and get there as much as I can. Obviously, I'm a bit more busier now, so I don't really get weekends and stuff. And it's hard with touring and stuff. Been doing a lot of touring and stuff, so I don't really get the chance to go to the games. But yeah, I mean, I used to go to Upton Park a lot. I had a season ticket and stuff. But yeah, I just miss the old stadium. I don't get the same vibe from the new one, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think anyone does. I mean, it's not a football stadium for a start, is it? It's you're miles away from the pitch most of the time, and you do feel quite disconnected from it. But I suppose with the football getting a little bit better, it makes it a little bit easier, I suppose. But it's not what it used to be. But do you go away a lot, or do you get to away games?
No. If I'm being honest, I haven't been to an away game. I've only been to home games.
Fair.
I'm not that dedicated. I feel like I should be, but I'm not proud to say that I do go away.
Mate, I mean, I rarely go away because of work commitments, but the up until 2 seasons ago, every time I've been away, even to Slovenia in the Europa League, we'd lost.
Oh, really?
And I was almost thinking, right, I'm a bit of a bad luck charm here going away from home. I'm just going to stay in London. But then I went to Watford, which is technically London, I suppose, and we won. So I think I've ended that one. But I suppose, I'd rather just not go away and make sure that we win than us lose at the time. I went away at Slovenia and we still lost to Domzali. But yeah, that's a story for another day. But it's getting better though, isn't it, James? Like under David Moyes. What are your thoughts? Like the last 18 months have been pretty crazy, haven't they?
Yeah, they've been mad. I honestly think that this side at the moment is the most exciting side we've ever had Well,
Yeah.
since I think when was the last time we won the league? It was like in 1980, was it?
Well, not 1980 was the last time we won a cup, wasn't it? FA Cup.
Yeah, the cup.
Yeah.
But when was the Premier League? Oh no,
We never won the league, have we? No.
we ain't, have we? But I mean, in terms of like a side,
You've got 1986 where we finished third, didn't we?
Yeah.
But other than that,
but like when I see like Antonio and Ben Rama together, it's just like the most exciting thing I've ever seen. You know what I mean? Like they're such an exciting pair. A lot of the new signings we got as well. Like what's his name? The French geezer, Zuma.
Zuma, yeah. Class signing.
Exciting signing. I think it's great. I think the only thing we're sort of missing is at the moment is like maybe another striker, but and hopefully Antonio don't get injured. But yeah, it's exciting, man. I'm gassed. I'm really happy.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's
What do you think?
mate. Well, still trying to get my head around it, if I'm honest, James, because like it was only 18 months ago we were all fearing relegation, and now next week we're in the Europa League group stages and we just finished 6th, and like, and it's David Moyes as the manager. No one really expected it to happen under him, did they? But you're right, like Ben Rama, Antonio, Zuma's a great signing, Vlasic is a great signing. So it's exciting. And with this takeover talk as well, potentially, it could continue. But
yeah. I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting time. I don't think anyone, like everyone I know, it's rooting for West Ham. Even like people that don't support West Ham. Do you know what I mean? And it's great. It's the first time, like in my lifetime, that I've ever had that energy. Do you know what I mean? I've ever experienced that, and it's a great feeling, especially coming off the World Cup and not the World Cup. Sorry,
the Euros. Yeah.
Euros. And having such a great time with England and stuff. Obviously, it was a bit of a gutting final, but yeah, it's just exciting time for football. And I feel like West Ham, we're the most like English side. Maybe that's biased coming from a West Ham fan, but it just really feels like exciting. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think there's a little bit of apprehension this year with without the striker, as you said. But what are your hopes for the club this season? Do you think that we can do it again in terms of a top 6 finish, or do you think that it's probably asking a little bit too much to do it all over again?
No, I reckon we'll definitely get top 6.
Yeah,
I'm
love that.
I'm pretty certain we'll get top 6. To be honest, I think we've had a great start. It's just keeping it up, keeping spirits up. I think fans having that great energy towards the players really counts for something. I think, and I think everyone's so excited. So hopefully it should work. Hopefully we should pull off something. Do you know what I mean? It's a great time. I don't know. What do you think? Do you not think we're going to get top 6?
I think it's a big ask. I do think it's a big ask. I mean, because it was so surprising last year. Like I do genuinely think, if we did that again, that would be almost almost unthinkable, more unthinkable than it was last year. But I'd like to see us go for one of the cups. Like even if we finish 10th, but have a good cup run, maybe do well in Europe or get to the final of one of the cups, then you can kind of look at it and go, okay, well, we kind of sacrificed a top 6 finish or finish in the top 8 for a bit of silverware maybe, or a decent run in Europe or something like that. So as long as we're not in a relegation battle, then I'm happy, because we're too used to that, aren't we?
Well, we are too used to it, but it's good to see Arsenal down there.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true. It's just the same Tottenham up down there as well.
Yeah, I know. They're up the top. Bastards.
Yeah, it had to be them knocking us off, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But let's wind back a little bit, James, and interested to know who your heroes were when you first started watching West Ham. Who are the players that you kind of adored? Because mine was Tony Cottee. Who was the one player that you grew up idolising?
For me, it probably, around the time that I started going and fully getting into it was around like the Tevez squad, when we had Tevez. Tevez was like, I loved him. But also like Teddy Sheringham was like a big name in my family. We used to love Teddy. So I don't know. And then also Noble. I mean, my mum used to. Apparently, she used to babysit Mark Noble. I know, obviously,
Really?
everyone loves. He's still playing and stuff, but I think he's definitely a bit of an idol for me. How long he's been in the squad and stuff, and I think he really carries the team. Although he's only, I think he's only played once so far, but yeah, I think maybe out of those three, probably Teddy Sheringham, Tevez, and Noble have been my favourite players for sure. And then obviously this in the new squad, I'm loving Antonio. I'm loving him.
Yeah, can't get enough Antonio and his dance moves.
I'm just praying he don't get injured. I'm praying.
Yeah, I mean that's everyone's prayers at the moment. You have to get him in as a backing dancer one day, mate, for one of your gigs. I'm sure he'd be up for it.
That'd be great.
I couldn't ignore the fact that you see your mum was Mark Noble's babysitter when he was younger.
Yeah, because he used to live on Green Street, and we know the family, and well, my family know. I don't know him, but my family know them lot. And he's proper. He's like an Upton Park boy, isn't he? So
yeah,
I think he knows all my lot on that. And yeah, I think he's just a bit of a. My mum always says, "I used to babysit him. I used to babysit him." So yeah, I think it's great. I think he's a good bloke. Do you know what I mean? He seems to carry himself really well. He really respects West Ham, and yeah, it's just a top bloke. Really, I love Mark Noble. I love him.
Yeah, but there's a reason why he's called Mr. West Ham, isn't it? Because he literally is Mr. West Ham.
That's it.
Support for the We Are West Ham podcast is brought to you by Manscaped, who are the men's below-the-waist champions of the world. Manscaped offer precision-engineered tools for your family jewels, and they just launched their 4th-generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0, all across Europe. Yep, you can join 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, who we've teamed up with to bring you 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the promo code WeAreWestHam. That's all one word, We Are West Ham at manscaped.com. Imagine shaving with a sleek, well-designed and optimized trimmer that makes shaving time your favorite time, just like watching West Ham is your favorite time of the week. We're lucky enough to be one of the first to try the new 4.0, and it's fair to say we're blown away by its performance. It's a next level product that really will change the way you approach your grooming routine. James, trimmers, shaving, keeping yourself nice and tidy down there. Any funny or embarrassing stories?
Nothing from me. I'm not saying I'm a pro or anything, but nothing from me. But a friend of mine has quite an embarrassing story, which I always think about. Always makes me giggle, particularly after a few beers when we go out a night out with him. But on a Magaluf lads holiday about 10 years ago, he thought on his first night he'd give himself a little bit of a tidy up. And
As
went
you
all
do.
the way. As you do, yeah. But he first time he'd ever done it, so he wasn't, he didn't really know about the aftercare and everything that comes with it, and spent a good 24, 36 hours in agony because of the Magaluf heat and the sweating that comes with it naturally, and it was very uncomfortable for him. So he got absolutely no luck, which was his intention, and so we've laughed about it ever since. What about you, mate?
Yeah, to be honest, mate, I used to be a regular waxer, believe it or not. Just a little professional studio we had near my work in an old life. This was. I used to go and get it done in a salon, but it's an expensive way of doing it. It's like 40 quid a go every 6 weeks or whatever it was. And then so one day I thought, I'll have a go at this at home. It's got to be cheaper. Bought all the strips, and I won't go into details, but it was very, very painful. And it was not a pretty sight afterwards either. So from then on, switched to trimmers, and it's been shavers all the way for me since then. Clean and tidy, no hassle, very, very similar effect. So to say not details, but it was not pretty. So trimmers all the way.
To be fair, mate, I never had you down as a waxer, if I'm honest. But yeah, I mean, you learn something new every day, didn't you? Manscaped have engineered the ultimate groin and body trimmer to combat all those embarrassing stories once and for all. by focusing on intelligent functionality and incredibly comfortable grooming experience. Their 4th generation trimmer features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin-safe technology, and it also has a very impressive 4,000 LED spotlight, which I can show you right there.
Well, hey, have a look at that. Shaving in the dark.
Shaving in the dark, just in case you need to, for whatever reason. I wouldn't recommend it.
For the awkward dark spots.
Little dark spots. Again, if you've got any, it comes in handy. And that can be turned on and off when needed for a more precise shave. This thing literally does have everything. It even boasts wireless charging, additional guard links with sizes 1 to 4, and a multi-function on and off switch that can engage travel lock. So lads, if you need to up your game when it comes to tidying up your trophy cabinet, or if you've been shaving down below with the same trimmer you use for your face, now's the time to dip into the transfer market and bring in a superstar signing who will upgrade your look and feel instantly. West Ham have done just that this summer, so now it's your turn. So head over to manscaped.com for 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code WeAreWestHam. That's all one word, WeAreWestHam. You wouldn't stick a goalkeeper up front if you're a manager, so why choose anything other than the right tools for the job when it comes to your grooming? Trust us, you won't regret it. I saw an interview with yourself and Rick Edwards recently, and he asked you a question, which is interesting. He said, would you prefer West Ham to win the league or for you to have a number 1 single? And you said it's got to be West Ham. And he said it can't be both. And I thought, come on, Rick, that's a little bit harsh. Like,
bolder, isn't it?
It's not too much to ask, is it, to have both? But given West Ham have been at the top of the league already this season, do you think it's probably a realistic target to have, having both? Maybe not this year, but maybe in a few years down the line.
Yeah, it is. It is a target because you've got to say what you want, and you've got to manifest this stuff in you. And I don't think it's impossible for me to get a number 1 single. I don't think it's impossible for us to win. So I mean, if I could pick, it would definitely, like as we were saying, like it just seems like the impossible for West Ham to do it. But I think we've got a great squad, and obviously maybe not this time round, but I don't know. It feels like we're on the route to getting there. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely getting there. I mean, Leicester did it, so they proved that if Leicester can do it, then I would say our squad now is better than Leicester's squad that won the league a few years back. So
for sure,
definitely keep going for. If both of those happen, then I'll be looking to get you back on, mate. Definitely, we can set about get Rick Edwards on as well. Why not?
Yeah.
Let's move on to your music, James. For those listeners that maybe haven't heard of you, haven't heard much of your music, describe your music sort of to the listeners, and sort of what could they expect from listening to your tracks?
Yeah, so I mean, I sort of grew up on. I used to sing down the market to all my dad's mates, and a lot of the old market traders used to love like Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan. That's what they used to really like. So I grew up on a lot of that, and I think that's sort of translated into my stuff in the fact that I play a lot of guitar, acoustic guitar-y music. But yeah, it's sort of like love songs, bit soppy, soppy love songs on a guitar. It's like singer-songwriter vibes. I tend to write from my own experience. I've actually just put out an EP called the District Line EP, because I've spent so much time sitting on that tube, and I've written a lot of songs on there and stuff. So it was very much inspired by that. And yeah, it's sort of a soul-y singer-songwriter vibe. And it's very soft and heartbreaking. But I try and turn that off when I'm at West Ham. I try and get me geezer off.
You can't be too soppy over at Stratford, can you?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Are all your songs sort of based on your own personal experiences, or is it just just whatever flows out at the time?
Yeah, they are. I mean, I write a lot of stuff. I've been writing last couple of years for some other artists as well, and I produce my own stuff as well. But I tend to, the stuff that I just write random and it's nothing to do with me, I tend to give that stuff to other people, and then the stuff that I really relate to or is about a particular thing, I have to keep it for myself. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it is about a lot of experience, but I'm just a bit of a sop, to be honest with you, mate. I'm just like, I just like writing about my heartbreak. Do you know what I mean? It helps me.
Is that what it's based on then? From like a breakup or
Yeah,
something like that?
yeah. I've had my heart broken a few times, and yeah, I tend to write about that. But yeah, I'm trying to broaden my horizons a little bit at the moment, with this new album. But yeah, it's
Nice.
pretty about that.
Nice. Well, you mentioned it there. I mean, the next question was what's in the pipeline. Obviously, know you're planning on releasing a first album. What's that going to be like? Can you even say anything about it yet?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still in the process of making it. It's a long old process because, you know, with a lot of artists nowadays, I think a lot of artists can relate to this as well. We tend to like write, say, 100 songs, and then we'll pick 8 or 10 or 12 out of them, and it's such a long process. So I've written so many songs for this project, but I'm just trying to pick the right ones. I'm trying to get, because a lot of them are just rubbish. Do you know what I mean? I want to get the right stuff. But yeah, the album will be good. I think I've got like a good sense of quality, and I think I'll put that into this work, and hopefully it will resonate with people a little bit.
Nice. And headlining, is it your first show since COVID next week at Scala?
Yeah, first time in front of a crowd. Well, my own crowd in ages. Like 2 years, isn't it? It's been.
Yeah, pretty much. You must be pretty buzzing about getting back up there and doing what you do best.
Yeah, I'm buzzing, and also it'd be funny because a lot of the people that's coming are like all the West Ham lot, and you know how loud everyone can be. So they're like proper rowdy, the crowds that come see me. So yeah, it's great. I'm looking forward to it next week.
Quality. And you got your current single out, Got the Love. I listened to that for the first time earlier. Had it on repeat. I thought it was really good, mate. Loved it. But what's the story behind that one? Is it just sort of part of the story that we've already heard of in terms of, you know, previous heartbreak and personal experiences and stuff like that?
No, actually, this one was about it was a song to all my friends and I've got a little brother. I mean, my dad and a lot of my boys that I've grew up with. They're all very like blokey people, and you know what it's like with blokes. We don't really like to talk about our feelings and open up to anyone. And I know that a lot of them were struggling during this lockdown. So I wanted to write this song to just be like, listen, mate, it's all right. I've got the love, you know. I'll give you some love if you can't love yourself, or if you can't talk about it. I'll still love you. Do you know what I mean? So that was sort of the premise around this song.
I love that because I know a lot of people that have struggled as well.
Yeah,
but it hasn't been an easy time for many people, is it? So no, I love that, mate. So it's really good.
Appreciate it.
Can't not talk to you without talking about Britain's Got Talent finalist in 2014. What was that like for? I mean, what, you were 15 at the time? I mean, that must have been pretty mental for someone trying to, you know, break into the industry, particularly at such a young age, and then suddenly you're on national TV in the final of one of the most popular talent contests in the world.
Yeah, it was mad. It's mental, mate. It was crazy. I mean, my mum signed me up for it basically because I used to sing down East Ham Working Man's Club. I don't know if you know it. A lot of boys used to go down there. I used to sing down there a lot, and my mum used to film me down there, and someone see it, like a scout see it, and then it eventually got into the process of me going there to the audition, and yeah, it just sort of all blew up really, and I was sort of gigging ever since, and it made me like grow up from a young age. You know what I mean? I was a bit of a rascal when I was younger. Like I got kicked out of school and all that when I was like
I read the
13.
story about that earlier.
Yeah.
I mean, feel free. I mean, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it.
Yeah, well, I moonied in class, and they kicked me out.
Love that.
Yeah, but I was just a bit naughty, and I think doing something like that really made me grow up and realize like, oh, you can't mess about. You've got to focus on what you want to do, and that really grounded me doing that, because I couldn't muck about no more. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't be a shit, because everyone was sort of on my Twitter, and I was on a few like magazines and all this, and any wrong thing that I said or anything that I was a bit naughty or whatever, it was like everyone would talk about it. So that really sorted me out, and yeah, it was great, and like I said, it helped me grow up and figure out what I wanted to do in my life, which is this.
And it must have opened quite a lot of doors for you once it all finished. Obviously, being a finalist, that must have been pretty mental afterwards, getting a lot of phone calls from people wanting to sign you up.
Yeah, I mean, I signed straight to Sony straight away, because when you're on them shows, that's what you do. You sign to Simon Cowell straight away. But I didn't last there long. They tried to make me Justin Bieber, and I was like, no, thanks.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was there for a little bit, but then I ended up going to Virgin, and then now I'm actually doing everything on my own now. I've like employed my own team and stuff. And it's the happiest I've been. So yeah, I'm excited about the future.
Great stuff. I'm going to end it with something a little bit funny, James. Well, a little bit of fun, shall I say. I don't know if you remember last year with the home win over Spurs after Lingard scored, and they did that celebration, and everyone was calling for the band. I think it was Fornals, Declan Rice, and Lingard all pretending to play musical instruments, playing the drums.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, obviously they weren't singing in that, but I was wondering if you could pick any one of the West Ham players in the current squad to do a duet with, who would it be and why? And we have a running joke on the podcast. I mean, people think it's a joke, but we're trying to take it seriously, that the West Ham squad listen to this podcast. It's not 100% confirmed. But we've got an inkling that they do, because of a number of things that have happened after we've spoken about certain things. It's probably rubbish, but let's pretend they do. So let's pretend they're listening right now, and you're calling out a West Ham player to do a duet with you. You don't know whether they got a voice or not, but you're going to do it anyway.
Do you know what? I think Rice, Declan Rice, is hilarious. Like, I think he's such a character, and I've seen him on I don't know if you've seen like Chunks and all their channels on YouTube and stuff, but I've seen them. They're all matey and that, and they're proper laugh them lot. So I reckon he's rubbish and all. So I'd love to see Declan Rice give a little sing song. That would be hilarious.
Love that. Well, Dex probably listening, so
come on, Dex.
Hopefully he gets in touch. If not, we'll try and get you both on, and maybe we can do something for the podcast.
That'd be great
at the end of the season. But James, it's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Really appreciate you coming on and chatting about your beloved West Ham, and obviously things that come up in your music career with the album and the current single, next week's gig, and stuff like that. But for listeners that are looking to hear a little bit more from you, where can they find you on? Where can they find your music? Where are you on social media?
Yeah, so you can find me I'm mainly on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, all the platforms, and my name's @JamesSmithVocal. Obviously, there's loads of James Smith, so I had to find a
common name in it. It's like mine, James Jones. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it's vocal at the end of James Smith. And yeah, you can find me on Spotify. Just type in James Smith, and I'll be there somewhere. But yeah, there you go.
Amazing. Well, thanks very much for joining us, James. And make sure you check out James's latest single, Got the Love. Keep an eye out for when his album comes out. And can I buy tickets for next week's gig at Scala, or is it sold out?
Yeah, there's a couple tickets left. So if you fancy coming, yeah, grab some tickets quick.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Cool.